I want to close it out on something funny. Can you tell me one of your worst dating stories?
Oh
And
gosh.
I will share one of mine. You want to go
Oh
first, or you want
gosh.
me to?
Um, I guess yeah. I'll
Barring
tell it.
illegality.
I'll tell a gym. It's sort of like a gym one, I guess, because I think that's
Yeah, hit me.
relevant. Yeah, had a date that was, and it was right after I gotten out of a long term relationship. I don't know that I was ready to date, and I think if you feel like you're just out of a relationship, you think you're not ready to date. I'm not one of those people that says like get off the dating apps, you're not ready. Like I do think there's some value to like not knowing if you're ready or not and going on a date. There's a lot of great relationships that have come out of people doing that. But looking back, I wasn't ready. But went on this date. The guy was really into it, and I think like now knowing what I know, but just in the moment, just out of a relationship, didn't just things where it's like maybe nodding along to things that or like not realizing the weight of my words when the guy said like, oh, Tuesday, like I'll totally make you dinner, like I make a great steak, and me going, oh, that sounds great, like versus like kind of putting some putting more like arm's length in between, like
Right,
I
right.
just thought I was being polite. But one of the things we had in common, like I had nothing in common with this guy. He was super weird. Was we both went to Orange Theory, but he went to the one across town. He liked going at like a weird time of day. And I think I said like, oh yeah, like I live right above like this like my Orange Theory. I go to the 5 o'clock class. Like every weekday. Like, and that was the one thing we bonded over was Orange Theory.
Tell me this guy
And
didn't show up to your class.
he showed up and registered for the entire month, but it was something I forget
Ugh.
what it was, but like yeah. So
Ugh.
the date was weird, and like I got to work the next day. He'd added me on everything. He'd found me on LinkedIn. He was starting to just send me stuff, and I was just starting to get creeped out. And this, he's like, oh yeah, so our date tomorrow, like I'm making you dinner. And I think I just said like, hey, I'm not feeling too well, like, and it was just what I felt at the time. Like, yeah, there's being honest, but there is also just like choosing kindness and honesty, and like I don't know this
In
person too
safety.
well. Yeah, safety. So I said not feeling too well, like, and also just Austin's a big city. Like a lot can happen in a weekend. Just I figured this guy would be fine. He would, one date he'd move on. And then, I guess technically I ghosted him. Like, yeah, technically I did. But after I said like, hey, I'm not feeling too well. But it was just weird. Like he just kept going. And then the next Monday,
Can I pause that real quick?
yeah,
Because there is a lesson in there, actually. If somebody ever cancels a date for any reason and they don't offer a time for reschedule, that's a no. And just accept it
yes.
and move on. Anyway, continue.
Exactly. And like looking back to like this is me 4 years ago or something like that. Like I would have probably handled things differently now, but there is that like fear, that safety. You don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But yeah, then Monday I go to my Orange Theory class and he's in there. And I was terrified, like, because it's like you go into the class, like I couldn't just like run out, but I was getting real creeped out. Luckily, we were on different machines. But 5 minutes before the class ended, I kind of run out to the front desk and said, "Hey, like, I had a weird date with this guy. He's clearly come across town, come to this this studio at a weird time. Like I feel weird about this. Do you mind if I just grab my stuff and run home? I'll call you and tell you the story after the fact." I run home, which was right above there. Like I ran super fast because I was like, "Oh fuck, this guy knows where I live."
Right.
And yeah, I called down to the Orange Theory and she says, "Oh my gosh, like what the heck happened with this guy?" Like because what he did apparently, like once I'd left, he like got off his machine and like started like yelling at the front desk girl saying like, why did you just help that girl leave? And like the girl's like 21. She's like, I don't know what you're talking
What?
about. Yeah. And so she started like cussing her out. She's like, yeah, the girl tells me, she's like, he registered for this same class for the rest of the month. Like it was so scary, but they were great. Orange Theory was great about it. Like the head coach called me that night and said like, hey, like, like, I don't want to like get involved or cause you more drama, but he's like, I can tell this guy he's not allowed to come to this studio. Like we don't want anyone feeling unsafe. Like, it was I was really grateful that they were really supportive with that. But it was very scary. Like it was just weird
Oh
that
yeah.
it escalated that way.
Guys, your best way to be good at dating is to not be fucking creepy.
Yeah, like it was just I was surprised too. Like I think there was also just a thought in my mind of like, the guy seemed like he had a group of friends. It seemed like he was, not he didn't complain about his dates or anything. Like I thought he would forget about me, like honestly.
Right. Well, shit, here we are.
Yeah.
Um, man, that makes mine way less interesting. Mine is just like very cringe inducing.
Mhm.
So my mom, God bless her. Um, my mom is so grandbaby hungry, it's ridiculous. She's lucky I want to be a dad, but uh in my early 20s, my sister decided that she was just like, hey, I don't want to have kids. Is like very vocal about the fact that her and her husband are not going to have kids. So I became like the sole source of my mother's like have a grandchild right now, you know. So my
Oh,
mom see a cute girl out, give her my number, ask for her Instagram, and just like, all this shit that it's just like Jesus, mom, like please don't do that. But one time it paid off, or so I thought. So she, gives this girl my number. She texts me. I'm like, hey, what's your Instagram? I want to figure out what this chick looks like. And I'm like, oh, like, dude, she's beautiful. And, add her. And she's like, oh, you're super cute. I'm like, hey, this is perfect. This is like a weird kind of meet cute, like some weird sort of thing. So we go out on this coffee date and it was great. It was so good. Like vibed really, really well. Had an awesome conversation. We're laughing the whole entire time. And I was like really looking forward to a second date with this chick. So then I'm like, hey, well, I gotta get out of here. I got work in the morning. Like, I'll walk you back to your truck. She has a huge truck for whatever that's worth to anybody, huge diesel truck. So I walk her back and I hear this little and I'm like, oh, what the hell is that? And she goes, oh, look, it's a family of raccoons. And then she goes, look at those little N words. Hard R. I know, I know, I know. And
no fucking
I
way.
swear to God. And I literally looked around so quick to see if I was about to get the shit beat out of me because of what this girl said, full volume. And I just look both ways. And I'm like, so I gotta go. I had a great time with you. I'll talk to you soon. And I got out of there, dude. And I did not go on a second date with this girl for
I would.
very obvious reasons.
That's like something out of a bad sitcom.
Dude,
Like,
she would not stop texting me. Like she kept texting me, kept trying to hang out with me, kept this, kept that, kept yada yada yada. And it was so funny because then it was maybe like 3 months later or something like that. One of my buddies posts a picture on his story and he was dating this chick and I told him the story and he was just like, dude, what the fuck? And I
that's
was like,
just
yeah,
so
man,
weird.
get
Like,
out of there.
I would almost just be like, what is the mystery behind this? Like, just typical women just always want to know the mystery. Like, so many women, rather than just like cutting their losses and be like, okay, I'm done here. They're always like, I want to know what happened. Like, why did he ghost me? Like,
I would
gotta.
love to tell this girl you dropped a hard R on our first date.
I wouldn't either, just because I correlate people who use that word with people that are dangerous.
Yeah.
But like, I would almost, but there, yeah, there's definitely the mystery of just like, is that what she said? Like, why?
Dude,
Why?
I don't know what was going on in her brain that she's like, this guy's gonna love this.
No, oh my, I don't know what I like. I think we have just like female perspective, like, guys can, there is that like element of safety, but like, that's just the weird, that's one of those like sitcom stories where it's just
It
like,
was so weird.
what the fuck? Yeah.
Yeah, and I told my mom about it, and she was like kind of upset because apparently the way that she met this chick was like a business networking thing. So she was going to see this girl on a regular basis. Now it's just like, well, you get to carry that cross now, mom. Good job.
That's crazy.
Hey guys, thanks for watching that episode. If you got some value out of that, please give me a little subscribe somewhere in there, whether that is on Apple, Spotify, wherever you're listening right now. And you can also find me on TikTok, Instagram, pretty much everywhere, honestly, at AndrewPFM. So yeah, guys, until next time, we'll see y'all later.